Hey everybody, welcome. Andrew Ainsworth Golf Academy. As always, you're very welcome to the Golf Academy down here in sunny Tring in England. The date is 22nd of December. Merry Christmas to you all, by the way. This last video I posted about putting was going to be my last video of 2020, but the area that I live in the UK has been put into what they call a Tier 4 lockdown. Which basically means I've had to close the academy because of COVID again. There's quite a rapid spread of COVID in this area. So the academy's closed. Obviously can't have any customers in here, quite rightly so. I've come in just to got some deliveries arriving today, so I had to come in to kind of make sure the deliveries were safe. And while I'm in here, I thought I'll just put together a quick little video. And the topic today is distance control with wedges. I've done videos like this in the past, but I haven't done one for a while. And how do we control distance with our wedges? Well, it's a good question, isn't it? I think when you watch golf on TV and you watch these tour pros, male and female, they're incredibly talented golfers, but how good are they with a wedge in their hand? You know, you look at the caption and it says like 78 yards to the flag, and they're like, bang, all over it, getting the ball dancing around the hole. What you don't see is how long these pros spend on their wedges. I think case in point here was Dustin Johnson won the Masters this year in amazing form, didn't he? Butch Harmon was talking about how when Johnson came onto the pro scene originally, he was a pretty poor wedge player by his own estimations as well. And he works incredibly hard on his wedge game, and he spends apparently every session he'll work on these distance controls and getting these wedges dialed in. So I thought I'd talk to you a little bit about how I sort of teach people to become better wedge players. And the first thing to say is make sure your gapping's good on your wedges. You're going to need a minimum 3 wedges, probably more like 4 wedges these days. And loft-wise, you know, if let's say your pitching wedge is 46 degrees, you could go 52, 58 for a 3-wedge system. You could go something like 45-degree pitching wedge, 50-degree gap wedge, 55-degree sand wedge, 60-degree lob wedge. There's different ways that you can put wedges together, but try and keep those gaps fairly consistent. The worst thing you can have now on a modern wedge, on a heel and toe set, you can get wedges which go down at 42, 43 degrees, which is crazy. So imagine if you've got a 43-degree pitching wedge in some cavity-back bombing set, and then from there you go to a 56-degree sand wedge, you know, 13, 14-degree gap between your pitch and your sand wedge, and you're trying to work on distance control, no chance. So look at your gapping first of all. The first shot I'm going to talk to you about today is this shot here. I have got exactly 54 yards to the flag. I was trying to set it to 50, but if I set it to 50, I was kind of in the water. So I'm 54 yards away from the flag. The greens are quite receptive. I've got some decent balls, which will spin a little bit. And what I'm trying to do here is carry this ball as close to the flag as I can, because I know it's going to stop. So all the yardages that we're going to be talking about today are carry distance, not total, because I'm not expecting too much run out on here. So how would I hit a pitch shot with a 56-degree wedge round about 50 to 55 yards? Well, first thing I'd do is I would get down the club a little bit. Rather than hold the club at full length, okay, I would be sliding the hands down the grip to shorten the shaft length to help me control a little bit of the distance. How do I make the swing? Well, for me, it's just a miniature swing. I'm certainly keen on using quite a lot of body rotation in this shot. I'm certainly not just trying to play this with my hands and my arms. I'm using the body rotation to control speed of the swing and length of the swing. I want this swing to feel quite fluid. I don't want it to feel too aggressive. So, enough babble. Let's get in there and hit a couple of shots. Haven't had any warm-up on these, so the first thing I would do is just have a couple of practice swings. Use the practice swing as a sort of a feel. Imagine you were trying to throw a ball, you know, there's a bucket over there and you're trying to throw a ball into a bucket. You kind of need a few goes at it first, don't you? Just on a practice swing to get a feel. So that's what the practice swing does for me. I like to feel it. I like to open the stance up a little bit. That's not absolutely essential, but it's the way I like to play it. Let's go. That was a little bit thin to start with. When I say thin, I just hit the ball a little bit on the low on the club face. That's where that slightly tinny sound came from. Let's have a look as we go. So the first shot where I was trying to carry it between 50 and 55 yards actually went 57 yards. So if you have access to one of these little mobile launch monitors, they're great these days. You can pick up them, I wouldn't say they're cheap, but for a couple of £100, maybe $200-300, I don't know, you can pick up these little mobile launch monitors. I think there's even things on phones, mobile phones now, which will give you a pretty good indication of carry distance. I wouldn't say they're bang on accurate, but they're pretty close. Okay, here we go again. 50 to 55 yards is the number. Yeah, a little bit yippy, little bit, not particularly fluid, but I'm there with this third one. I've now got the feel. I think that's my number. And I just knew the first two were a little bit quick, a little bit yippy, dipped a little bit, all my usual bad faults. But the third one, I really felt it. And this is the whole point of this video. So much of this comes down to feel. And I knew as soon as you heard me say it, as soon as I hit that ball, I think that's the number. And that's exactly it. And this isn't pre-recorded and edited, everybody. This is what you see is what you get. I don't do all that sort of stuff. Exactly 50 yards of carry. How did I do it? Feel, feel and feel is all I can say about it. I just kind of knew the speed matched up with the body turn. So that was the 50-yard shot. Okay, let's have a little play around with the launch monitor. And let's now go back to, I don't know, pick a yardage. Somebody shout a yardage. There we go. I heard somebody shout in there. 85 yards away. I'm still with the 50-60 degree, but I'm now looking for 85 yards of carry. Obviously I need some more club speed to get the ball to go further. I'm going to change my hold. I'm now going to get more up towards the full length of the grip. I'm going to increase the rotation of the swing. I'm going to increase the club speed. And again, this is going to come down to feel. Use the practice swing. Let the practice swing give you the feedback. Okay, here we go. This will launch quite high. Rattle around in the roof of the net. Don't panic. Oh, push that to the right. Well, a good result, really good result, wasn't it? Finished up stone dead, but it pitched on the fringe, and that was a pretty, I told you none of this is pre-recorded, that was a pretty awful attempt at 85 yards, because I only carried that one 68 yards, but it did get a really nice hop forward. But hey, as I said, this is how we learn. So 68 and I'm after 85. Okay, another couple of practice swings. Feel it, feel it. Okay, nice and fluid. Like it, I think that's better. Still not quite on the number, 78 yards, but again, as soon as that came off the club face, I knew I was getting closer to it. You can see here the swing's getting a little bit longer. I'm still rotating the body. I'm creating more club speed. I think I'm getting closer to this yardage. Let's go one more. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Oh yeah. Here we go. Let's bring that one up. What was I after? The number was 85 I was after, and bang on, we got 85. So you can see on both of those scenarios at sort of 50 to 55 and then 80 to 85, it took me a couple to kind of get the yardage. But once I got some feel in the swing and in the hands and in the body, I could actually start to work that distance. This is not something how can I put this? It is something you can teach somebody to do. You can teach the technique, you can teach the ideas, but the only way you're going to get good at this shot is to feel it. You've got to get out there on the range with a bucket of balls and set a mark at like 50, 80, 100 yards or whatever, 40, 60, 80. Stick with one club, makes it easier, whatever your club of choice is, 56, 60 degree, 58, whatever. Just stick with one club and just imagine if you spent an hour on the range just working to a 40-yard marker, then to a 60, 3 balls at that, 3 balls at that, and then drop round. You'd start to get a feel. You go out on the golf course, you've got your sat-nav on your watch or your Garmin or whatever, and that is saying, or your scope, and it's saying, right, 62 yards to the flag, and you're standing there thinking, I know exactly what that feels like. I know what I need to do to hit 60 yards. Imagine what it's going to do to your scores. It's going to make them a lot lower, isn't it? So there we go. That's my little insight into how we control wedges. I know there's a lot more to it than that, but give me your thoughts. If you're a good wedge player, tell me how you play the shot. If you're a bad wedge player and you enjoyed the video, then I'll be glad to hear your thoughts on if this video is useful. Give the video a thumbs up if you think it's any good, and while you're down there, click on that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, all the best, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, let's look forward to 2021 and hopefully better things are coming our way. Bye for now.